Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teaching SpaceX IPO Special. Before we start, quick disclaimer, anything you discuss is just for educational purpose, nothing is financial advice. Hopefully everybody had amazing Friday. So guys, lot to learn today, how to trade IPOs, what was our planning for SpaceX IPO, learn the concept of sell the news so you're not bagged, how to buy the buy the rumor and sell the news. We'll talk about that, and what are the A+ stocks to buy, A+ long setups, and how to trade the Friday. I'm not going to cover too much on Lotto Friday, Lotto options. You can watch the other previous videos, the playlist. I'll go a little bit, but how to trade A+ setups. It was an amazing day in the community yet again. We literally killed it. We had one choppy loser on Adobe Short. But other than that, it was an amazing day. So before we start, just to do a quick introduction. Anybody who's new to our X accounts, new to our YouTubes, new to our Ripster education, or new to our community. So we trade a Ripster repeatable system, Ripster Cloud System, and we trade repeatable setups. The setups that I've been teaching for many years, from 7-8 years on X, from freely on YouTube, on my ripstereducation.com free education. The lives have been changed with my free education. You can go see ripstereducation.com. Thousands of the content that I have. You will find nobody has that much educational content for free online. Of course, we trade the system in our community as well. One of the largest online trading community, Tanner Trade Group, where we trade, where thousands of traders are trade. I'm live. I'm screen share. We make a plan. Every day we make a plan in the pre-market. My team makes a plan. We provide this plan, like today, this plan, which I also tweeted for free as well to my followers. But we also make this plan live in the community. So we trade this. We have all the plans. Today we were ready for the SpaceX. We had everything planned there. We'll talk about it. Then any news, any top stocks that I'm watching, I highlight them as a red, so they are over there. Then we have any Mag 7s or upgrade downgrades. We have different setups. Setup is what you trade, system is how you trade. If you're new to trading, you need to know 3-4 pillars: system, setup, risk, and goals. You can read more about those on my tweets or on ripstereducation.com. So anyways, that's always our plan in the pre-market. Then we also give the plans for futures. Traders can trade futures. We also trade futures. We trade crypto stocks. MSTR, of course, one of our top stocks that we traded today. We also have something called day 2, day 3 strategy. ORCL was our number 1 day 2 setup. We will see how it worked out today. There, I think there are some other day 2 setups as well which worked. We'll talk about them. And then we also trade low floats. We trade low float room. We trade IPOs. We trade all the ETFs and the Mag 7s. Everything is provided to the traders in the community. In our community, we have so many tools. We have breaking news alerts. We have breaking news squawk. We have hold, unhold alerts. We have tools over $400, $500, which are free for anybody who joins the community. Anyways, you can of course learn what I teach, watch my videos, follow my tweets, go to ripstereducation.com, or you can join trade with us in our community if you feel like. We run this community as well. We also have our AI investing research branch of our company as well, Tanner Research, which is more focused on swing trading and investing, and it is a one-stop shop AI app that you can use for your research and analysis as well. Anyways, that being said, let's start with a recap today. Lot to cover, and let's start with SpaceX IPO. So let's start with the SpaceX IPO. We will cover two things, right? The actual SpaceX IPO trade, and we'll also talk about how we traded a lot of these, names. If you go back a few months back, we did an article on Tanner Research that, how to trade the SpaceX IPO, how to position for the biggest public. You could swing trade all these names, and of course we had a lot of this. I shared this free article on as well there. So we'll talk about that in the next section, or maybe I should just cover that here only. So this is called sell the news concept, right? So even if you go yesterday, I tweeted about it. You can watch my video from yesterday. We were long overnight as well. We had exposure to ASTS, which swing from from 75, which ran all the way to 133 for us, almost 50% gain for us. So huge profitable trade. So we were all positioned for this move. So we were all positioned for this move into the SpaceX IPO. And all the stocks, if you go to our SpaceX research list right here on Tanner Research, if you look at all the SpaceX stocks, Space and Rocket, all of them ran into it, right? You could take anything. The top was Lunar, RDW, ASTS, everything ran into it. And that was the plan all along to run them, right? Hold the positions. Now, it was not a plan to hold complete positions. This is called a run-up trade. A big concept in the stock market is buy the rumor, sell the news. Buy the run-up, sell the actual event. It happens with Apple, it happens with Tesla, it happens with a lot of biotechs. This is a very big concept. So I was very surprised when I saw some traders who were saying they're stuck in Rocket Lab, they're stuck in ASTS. Yes, you can buy them again, that's fine, but traders have to take the profit. This is a big concept. And I was a trader who was like, hey, yesterday you said long on Rocket Lab and now you're saying short, and that's fine. We were long. My traders literally, if you see that, the traders literally took it from yesterday overnight from 110 all the way to 127. We don't know. They were you could see that I told the traders that you sell them. Even after hours, I told them to sell them. A lot of traders were holding it. You can watch yesterday's video when I told that how we planned to hold them. So the same thing was today was the short. Why was it? Because our system tells us. Our system tells us. So you could make money both ways. You could take few hundred shares, make few grand on the long this morning, for example, Rocket Lab. But what was our plan? Our plan was pretty clear, and you could see that we bought it yesterday at 110. I actually sold it yesterday some and sold some in the morning. So our plan was pretty clear. The Rocket Lab, ASTS, I'll just focus on the top two. You can look at the PL, RDW, Lunar as well. Short under MTFs, short under double MTFs, short under the MTFs. What happened? Excuse me. We break 20 MTF, short it, MTF to the MTF magnet. You could make $10, $15 short there. What was next here? ASTS, MTF break, short it. I told my traders right at the open, first thing I told everybody, it's a profit taking short. Overnight idea hit 127, hope everybody logged decent. So profit taking, short, sell the news, short. Literally all of them, right? Why? Because our clouds were bearish. It was yesterday, all our clouds were bullish. You see that? Rocket Lab, bullish. Clouds were bearish. Bullish, bearish. That was the pivot. Bullish pivot, bearish pivot. So that's how you make good money in the market with the system. And Ripster Cloud is the best system you will ever use. You don't have to do the guesswork. You just have to follow the system. Of course, we still have a swing position ASTS in our swing accounts, but it doesn't matter. Right now, we're talking about short-term trading, short and long on ASTS and Rocket Lab. So you could see Rocket Lab bullish over the MTF clouds, bearish there, right there as well. And you could see my yesterday's tweet. Easiest money to be made, overnight holds into SpaceX IPO, and that was it. If it held, yes, we could have held it. If it turned cloud bullish, we could have held it, but it did not. It just faded, broke our key pivots, and you can pause the screen, look at the levels I gave: 117 Rocket Lab, 97.56 there, PL, RDW, and just follow the plan. I highlighted it as a red. My traders followed the plan. They made solid profit on the short. Even few hundred shares short, you were up few grand. You could make $2,000-$3,000 up, $2,000-$3,000 down. 2 days you could make 5-6 grand, and that's exactly what my traders did in the community. Profit taking short, and most of them took the profits. Even yesterday after hours, I told them to take some off around 121, and that's how you do it. You swing trade, buy the rumor, buy the run up into the event, sell the news. Of course, you have to use the technical system like we have, which tells us, are we going to sell the news now or are we going to hold it? Anyways, well planned in the pre-market, well executed by the traders. Was a beautiful trade. Let's go to the next one. All right, so let's now talk about IPOs. All right, the SpaceX IPO. A few things. I'm not going to dig too much deep into this. Few things. SpaceX IPO had a lot of hype, right? Everybody and their grandma was trying to buy it, long it. Yes, the valuation is high. Everybody's talking about short, short, short. It's fine. It's fine. It's it's overvalued. Who cares? But they're only introducing very few shares in the market. The end of the day, they are only raising 70, 80 billions. They are like, I think, 500 million shares. Very, very less shares. The float is small that they are offering, so stock is going to move. Because most of that valuation, understand the market cap, understand the outstanding shares, most of that valuation, the shares are like outside the market. They are outstanding shares. They are not in the trading float. So even if it's overvalued, doesn't really matter. When the supply and demand is going to push, it's going to run. When there's supply, when everybody and their grandma is trying to buy, all the big funds are trying to buy, that's fine. Everybody's getting allocated. They're going to try to buy it. So it's going to run. But how do you plan that, right? So I'm just going to go to a smaller time frame here. Let's go to a 3-minute time frame. That's always a decent time frame to follow. So let's look at the pre-market plan. The one that I tweeted to my traders, SpaceX IPO, higher it opens from 135, more volatile and risky. Use my IPO rules. What are my IPO rules? My IPO rules are based upon Fibonacci. My IPO rules are based upon IPO first candle high or low. Either it's 1 minute, also weekly, monthly. It's a bigger discussion on the IPOs. That's why I said watch the first candle. You have to risk the first candle lows to long it. And also 150 is a big psychological level, then 175 big level, and then 190. You see it kind of rejected right at 175. And you have to see where is the true 2 trillion market cap around 153. So that was the plan. Highlighted as a red. My team, everybody in my community was ready. We were all ready. They were just traders just killed it. They just literally killed SpaceX today in the community. It was just amazing today. A lot of traders made 20, 15 per share dollar profit. So let me show you. So once the first candle opened, I told my traders, I will show you my voice transcript because I was live. So I said, space is long versus 150, can push versus 150, right? So I bought it at the 150. So you can see all my guidance from towards 165 target, 170 target, all that was live in the community. The reason being, once I saw that 150, this is where I got long and our stops were under 150. We sold some on this big spike towards 167. The initial spike at 167 here, this area. Now you can go to a bigger time frame if you want to. You could go to the 10-minute time frame where you can draw your Fibonacci's like this. You can draw Fibonacci from the opening price at 150 to the high of that second 10-minute candle. It will show you the support levels. The other thing we use is volume profile. Because it's a brand new listing, it doesn't really have a lot of EMAs and all that. So you can see that you could draw these Fibonacci levels from the opening to Friday, or you can draw it to the high. So if you want to go to like a bigger time frame, this was the main move, right? So our target was 175, 170. The first target I gave 170, next target I gave 175. So we held all the way from 150 to the 175. I sold everything around 172s. So, nice $20 per share profit. It was a nice trade for us. A lot of traders are holding it because if you see that Fibonacci level, if you want to extend that Fibonacci level from the actual IPO price, you can do that too. Then you will see the other support is at 155 right here. If you see that, the Fibonacci level, you see that. And this was the support it was bouncing from. This was the main volume support here, volume profile. And then it broke it. And then we got out here. Also, the 10-minute chart were becoming the bearish. This was the initial uptrend here. And this was the later bearish trend. Now we will be trading it on Monday as a day 2 as well. There's not really any shorts available on this stock, so we'll be focusing on the longs because it's bullish if it crosses over 175. If it pushes, rejects 175, it'll be short again. If it breaks these levels, 150, 135, 155, we will be watching this on Monday. But that's how you trade IPOs. You want to learn more about IPOs, go search my tweets, go to ripstereducation.com. This is not the first time we trade IPOs. Use Fibonacci's, follow the clouds are born, use 3-minute chart, 2-minute is fine, and look for this higher candle, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Draw your levels, look at the market cap, and you see how our planning was spot on. It was a beautiful trade for the whole community. Everybody was hugely green there. Live guidance, timestamped guidance on the floor, and of course on the voice and on the live screen. So hopefully you learned something and you could do it as well. And you could see that my target's 165. There was a flag. First target gave 165 target. Next target I gave 170. And you can see that then I gave final target to 175. So all my targets that I gave, we hit those targets, and our planning was spot on. These psychological numbers are so important. The opening price, the opening print of the IPO is so important. The opening low is so important. You can use any time frame you want, but that's how you trade IPOs. All right, so let's look at other setups here that we had. We're going to start with, let's take a look at our CRWV long today. So let's see what was the plan on CRWV. So let's take a look here on CRWV. All right, so there we go on CRWV. So CRWV, good news in the pre-market. Let's take a look on the news on the CRWV. So CRWV also joined the NASDAQ 100 psychological setup, bullish buys to long over 100, profit taking under 98.50. So initially it was not a long, right? So I'm just going to take this off. We don't need this volume profile here. Usually I look at, I'm just going to go to a different chart here. So yeah, so we usually look at our 1 hour chart as well to see what's going on. But let's take a look here. So what do you see? The CRWV, you can see the power of the MTF clouds. Initially there was nothing, no trade there. Gapping up, bouncing from MTF cloud. When I saw that, and then when I saw that CRWV is curling over that 3450 cloud, I told the traders long versus 98.79. Right? So right here you long it. The first target I gave was 101.35. We hit that target. We moved the stops under 100 as we started to push. This is our MTF cloud, Ripster MTF cloud. That's always our target. I said next target MTF magnet. We hit 105 MTF magnet. So from $100 right here, you can see the timestamp. We took over $5 per share profit. 1,000 shares, risking 1,000, you make 5 grand. That's how you do it. Beautiful trade. Let's go to the next one. All right, next we're going to talk about AMD here. So AMD is a similar setup, my repeatable setup that I teach again and again and again and again and again. So this one is called Tier 1 upgrade setup. CT upgrades AMD from 575 to 575 from 460. So the plan was simple. I made it red. It was my top focus. 500 psychological setup, bullish bias to long over 500, short under the pre-market lows. So yesterday, if you remember, I made a video about this tier 1 upgrades. CT is also a tier 1. As soon as I see it holding this strength at the open, I tell the traders to 500 psychological breakout long. You take long over 500. Your stops should be $2 or $3 here, or maybe right here. So you have a like almost $5 risk depending on your entry. Of course, if you go to the right entry at 34.50, you do good. So once it breaks the pre-market highs, that confirms the long for you. And you hold it. And I gave the two targets, 508, 5010. Both these targets were given by me at 936. And right at the 936, I hit that. We hit the 508 target. We hit the 510 target. And then later it broke, and we were exited right here when it broke 512. Although you could hold, if you want to hold a little bit longer with 34.50 or add it later in the day for 34.50. I did tell the traders that it's flagging. This was the flag. So I did tell the trader that we are breaking the flag on AMD. I went on the voice and they took this flag break all the way to 521. So it was a beautiful trade today. Let's go to the next one. So next one we're going to talk about SNDK. Now again, SNDK again had a news. Everything is with a plan. I tweeted that plan out there as well. So let me show you here on SNDK. This was the news, right? SKY Hynix chooses Nasdaq for US listing. So right, this is big. It's the leader. It's the leader, Korea listed company, leader of the memory stocks. And then the 10 rose all-time high 1885, 900 psychological setup, bullish bias to long over 1900, short under the previous close. Right. So the plan was to long over 1900. That was simple. That's simple. So once SNDK broke the 1900, I told the trader it's a long is triggered, and the target I gave was 2K, 2000. So 2000 target I gave in the morning, no hindsight. So, and we hit 190.94, pulled back, hit 194 again, and later in the day we hit 2000. So you can see that step by step by guidance by RGV as well. His price target 2000. And I gave the target of 2000 there as well. So beautiful trade there. SNDK, no hindsight, pre-market planning, live guidance. Even if you had 50 shares, so let's say you have 10 shares, right? So 10 shares, every $100 move, you're making $100, right? And if it's moving $100 for you, you'll make $1,000 on 10 shares, $500 on 10 shares. So it's not like you can't trade anything. You can trade small sizes. So that's how you trade the stocks like this. Now let's talk about some other trades which were a swing as well as day trade winners. BE. So this was a BE which was a double MTF. You see that double MTF. The other one was DELL. It was also the MTF bounce. Both BE and DELL, you could day trade it. A lot of traders were day trading it, BE, but we had a swing position yesterday, which I alerted yesterday to my traders yesterday when we added BE. So we added BE at 240, big good size. We added DELL at 370 there as well. You could see that. Let's see here. So we added DELL at 370 as well. So those were our yesterday swing ads. You see the timestamped entry there. So even that swing kind of worked nicely. So that was our DELL, BE and DELL swings. I'm just trying to show you why it worked. We added versus that. I explained it yesterday. We added versus this 370 support, and this morning we trimmed some in the pre-market. We held it. Once it reclaimed the clouds, pushed higher. You could see it bounce from the MTF clouds, pushed higher. So that gave us added conviction to hold. Same for BE. It bounced from our MTF clouds. Yesterday we added here this area, and you can watch yesterday's video, and it completed the MTF magnet. This is called MTF magnet setup on the BE. So you can see those swings when we added it yesterday 10 a.m. You can see the timestamp entry guidance. You can see why we liked this swing, why it was reclaiming the MTF clouds, how we hit our targets nicely there, BE. So you could see that in this timestamp recap. All right, let's look at some few things. Let's look at our day 2 setup. We had on Oracle, which was our morning short. Let's take a look here. This was a morning 9:30 to 10 a.m. short, nothing crazy. Oracle day 2 short. Why was it? It was our top day 2 plan. Let's look at day 2 strategy. Earning day 2s. Barclays raised the pretty. Started long over yesterday highs, not triggered. Short under pre-market low, 34.50 break. This triggered. So this triggered. So we took it short. Right away you short it. Right here, short it. 183, 182. Cover at 179. You're done for the day. So you have $4 per share short, risking $1,000, making 2-3 grand. That's all you need to do there, and you're done there. So there are many other day 2 setups as well. If you look, if you look at that, of course, Velo 3D was choppy, WSM, that was a nice move there. But mainly you have to focus on one top of your day 2 setup. That always works out for you. All right, so let's look at next one here. Next one we're going to take a look here is next one. Let's see here. So next one we're going to take a look at a loser trade that we had today. That was Adobe. Adobe was our losing trade. We tried to short it, but it did not. So Adobe, so the game plan was pretty simple. Again, everything is with the game plan. Adobe, bearish bias as long as under 200, right? So as soon as it pushed under 200, we shorted it. I told the traders to short. It flushed 196, bounced, reclaimed 200, we got out. So we took like a $2 loss. So if you had like same $1,000 risk, you lost $1,000 on this trade. So let's go to the next one here. So next one we're going to take a look is MSTR. MSTR, I just want to point out why It's always our Friday play. Highlighted as red, 10 at Lotto Friday, watch coin hood circle, trade versus 1 hour MTF, long over the 1 hour MTF. Simple MTF cloud, long trade, bounce from here, take a long there. I don't even need to tell my traders. I mean, they're already, taking that long, and they just, you could see that they were already long and they were doing pretty good on that MSTR trade, and here, and you see the pre-market planning. So that was good. All right, guys, that's all for today. Hopefully you guys learn a lot. Have a great weekend. See you all next week.